If I go first, Jonathan, well, the event so far has been very encouraging, in so much that it's finally focused, certainly in Bahrain, the affordable housing market. There's a lot of interest. The networking opportunity has been first rate, and it's been a very well organised event. One or two glitches along the way, of course, but that's to be expected. I'm very pleased with it so far.
Yeah, I think Chris is right. The awareness, particularly, it's raised the awareness of the issue. It's allowed industry leaders to get together and give different perspectives and perhaps challenge the status quo, which is not a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
And brought out a number of ideas and concepts, theories that perhaps hadn't been looked at, and that we've been able to share across the group. So it's been good. Well, I think first and foremost, perhaps let's address the UAE. We have a country that has enormous wealth, that traditionally has provided housing to the population, that has a very focused, and particularly in Abu Dhabi, 2030 plan run by the Urban Planning Council. And they're actively pushing the agenda of affordable housing by saying to the developers, if you want to develop on this piece of land, a percentage of it must be affordable housing. And so the government is managing it well. There is an issue nowhere near as great or as large as elsewhere, but it's being managed very well. Saudi is a very different situation in that it's just such a much bigger population. The numbers, the researchers we're seeing are saying that by 2015, a shortage of 1.3 million housing units. That's an unbelievable number. And it doesn't have the infrastructure, for want of a better word, in place yet to address some of that issue. As an example, no mortgage law, personal mortgage law, and that is a key missing link in my view.
Oh, absolutely. From a developer's perspective, the Saudi market is waiting to explode, and the main obstacle, as Jonathan rightly points out, which is holding it back, is the fact that there is no private mortgage law in place, which gives protection both for the occupier and for the mortgagor. It has to happen. It's the only way the market is going to be addressed, in order to deliver an affordable product to the affordable market. Absolutely. I mean, it is an unfortunate word. I mean, if you an unfortunate stigma to the market. I mean, frankly speaking, all property is affordable. It's just a matter of which market are you aiming at. You know, the White House is affordable to somebody. Not me, but if we could come up with a better title, so much the better. I mean, I liken the real estate industry, and I've been in the real estate industry a long time, as being very, very similar to the motor car industry. Everybody aspires for a Rolls Royce, for example, but the Rolls Royce market is extremely small. And most people, and I'm not being disrespectful when I use that name, but most people are in the Ford or the Toyota. Those are affordable motor cars, but it's not recognised as the affordable motor car. It's recognised as a motor car for that market. And we are building a product, we hope to deliver a product, or we intend to deliver a product, aimed at a particular market segment. It's horses for courses.
I think
or houses for courses.
I think you've raised an interesting point, though, and something I touched on. There's this question of definition, because everybody's using different terminology: low cost, affordable, social, etc. For want of a better definition, I threw up today one was affordable and the other one was social housing. And the key differentiator is the people who need social housing cannot afford a house or an apartment or whatever. And that's where the governments really need to get involved. And either providing housing as they have argued in the past, or giving incentives to the developers to assist them to provide what is in fact a house to someone that can't afford it. And Bahrain, from what I've seen, well and truly has taken the lead in some of the initiatives that they've taken, from financing through to assisting developers, private public partnerships, etc. They really are at the cutting edge when it comes to the GCC. But I think we've also shown perhaps they need to go a bit further as well, if they're going to solve this issue. And it's a real issue. When you've got a third of the Bahraini population needs some form of affordable or social housing right now, that's a real issue for the population.
Yes.
And you can understand the government is so driven to solve the problem.
Very
Yes,
true.
it's a social infrastructure problem, and government has to be proactive, and they have to be the catalyst to satisfy the needs and demands of its population. Only they can do it. And as Jonathan pointed out in his speech, expectations of developers have to be tailored. It's a big market. There will be a large turnover once it all clicks into life, and profits and investment returns will be satisfied. But the concept of the mega profits of the boom periods are completely out of the window in this market. They should have never been there in the first place. But certainly, I hope to see you here next year. This has been a first-rate event, and I'm sure it can only grow in popularity.
Thank you, Christopher.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And from an education, from a networking perspective, it's been super. And I'll certainly be back next year if I'm asked.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, gentlemen. Hope to see you next year.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.